Number 8 is Seducer. Each of these types has its own specifics, but here it is: bathroom poses in the city.
Me and the monument.
Now, sitting on a curb should be elegant. Hello guys, so today let's talk about photos in the city. Just recently I made several videos about photographs on nature, photographs at home, and how you can make the best pictures of yourself possible. And a little bit before that, I also covered makeup that is aging you, hair that is aging you, and clothes that is aging you, because it's very important to know before you do any picture of yourself, because you want to look kind of modern, or the picture should have some kind of aesthetic in it. That's what I'm covering in those videos. So today we're going to talk about how to make great pictures in the city and which mistakes to avoid. Sometimes you want to make pictures just for yourself, send to your friends, or for social media. And there are many women who are doing these pictures every day, but some of them have this know-how on how to make it aesthetically pleasing photo, and some people don't have this sense yet. So today we're going to discuss the basics of this type of photos. And it's funny because when I was researching for that subject, I downloaded tons of photos of different women in different environments in the city, and I was trying to analyze them, and I realized for myself that there's 8 general types of these photos, and later we're gonna talk about each type separately. So first type is casual photos, number 2 sports photos, number 3 having fun, number 4 business photos, number 5 retro photos, number 6 moody photos, number 7 fashionista, number 8 is seducer. Each of these types has its own specifics, has its own do's and don'ts. But first let's talk about do's and don'ts for pictures in the city just in general. Normally when you do pictures in the city, it's a daytime. Daylight doesn't like bright makeup. It doesn't like very colorful makeup. It doesn't like very dramatic, precise lines on your face. Unless it's done very clean, unless your skin looks very good, your face looks kind of tight, and the photo is made quite well, if the light is quite diffused, not direct light on the sun from top to the bottom. Sometimes it can create some unwanted shadows on your face, and it can mess up with that too sharp makeup. So when the light is quite diffused, for example, you have some clouds in the sky, that's normally a great light for any photo, because it makes that light more professional looking, like a professional diffuser. What is diffuser? For example, you have a very bright lamp. That is normally making the shadows on your face too harsh. They put slightly whitish see-through film on top of the lamp, so it diffuses the light, it makes the light less harsh and kind of more blended. So it's much softer on your face, so your shadows are not as dark and your light spots are not as light. It kind of looks more flattering on your face. Sometimes you can get away with classic makeup with some lash line or very nice dark brown smoky eye or gray smoky eye. Still not black smoky eye. I think black would be a little bit too harsh for the daytime in the city. But if we compare these photos with photos on nature doesn't like even classic makeup in a majority cases. Doesn't like red lips, doesn't like darker lips. We spoke about it in that video about photos on nature, right? So in the city, of course, you can have upgraded face. Now, if you have quite bright coloration, dark hair, dark eyes, for you, smoky eye can be combined with red lips. Normally it looks quite nice in the city. If you are a very blonde girl with quite transparent and light skin, sometimes it can be quite harsh on you. Still, it's better if you choose slightly lighter colors for your complexion. So daylight normally shows every layer of your makeup, especially if you're making pictures close. So again, if you compare city photos to photos on nature, on city photos you can pull off more done hair. On nature, you can't. Nature doesn't like short hair on women normally, but if it does, it should be really tousled. Nature likes as if you just got out of your bed. On the city, however, it looks a bit better when you have your hair done. If you have your hair tousled, that's also fine, but it depends on what type of a photo you're going to. Remember, we have like these 8 types. Now, if we talk about clothes rules, it's too wide subject to cover in just one video. Of course, all these rules about do's and don'ts, what is modern, what is not modern, something that looks super dowdy, something that doesn't look elegant, all that works in the city. Of course, it's very useful to know what body type you have. I have huge body type series on my channel. I'm gonna leave the link down below. If you find your body type, it's gonna be much easier for you to pose on these pictures, because you will see how natural you look on majority of pictures. You don't even have to do something special. But now I'm gonna tell you just general rules. What looks the worst in the city. First thing is very thin, stretchy cotton or synthetic fabric that is slightly big on you and that is hanging on you, or that is too sleek, smaller than your size. It normally looks very cheap, unelegant, and also with this daylight, it shows everything, all the wrinkles, all the curves, all the folds on your body, and not in the best way. Also, this fabric is not looking good just in general because it wrinkles normally in wrong places, in the places where we don't want to. So the best choice for any woman who wants to look a bit more elegant, a bit more upgraded in the city is of course things that are made with more straight and stiff material. Maybe it's gonna be double layered cotton, a bit longer sleeves, not like t-shirt tiny sleeves, especially if you are more mature. Than mature women are more elegant normally, so they do look better in more elegant things. So a bit longer sleeve would be nice. It doesn't have to be extremely sleek. It can be slightly wider but not extremely wide as well. It can still be narrow, but it should be 1 or 2 fingers between your skin and the garment. That's just normally the best thing. Also, matte fabrics look better during the day rather than satin or silk. Sometimes silk might look nice, but it depends on what kind of clothes piece you have, what color it is, and many details like this. If you already have that satin dress or silky dress, you can throw a blazer on top that would be matte, that would cover different curves of your body that you don't want to be very shown during the day with this satin fabric, because with the satin fabric every curve of your body is very exaggerated, because this fabric, when it's coming forward, it reflects light. When it has folds, it looks much darker. So when you look at that, it's normally a combination of light parts and shadow parts. And when you're moving your body, you always will look like it's folded in a wrong place. So everything sparkly also normally doesn't look with this type of photos. I'm just telling in general. Choose matte textures. You can never go wrong with them. Unless it's metallic finish. When it's silver, golden, or metal, that normally looks very nice during the day, but it should be mixed with matte colors. If you have everything sparkly, everything that is reflecting light, that can look not very elegant sometimes. So if you have just one of these pieces, it can even be shoes. Let's say you have golden shoes and everything else is matte. And it can create very interesting and stylish look. Another thing that doesn't look good normally in the city during the day is everything that you would wear for the night. So all these night gowns, again with some sparkles, glammed up hair, glammed up face, you probably will feel uncomfortable in all that during the day. Another thing that doesn't look good in the city is unelegant prints. They normally don't look good anywhere, whatever picture you make, but I just decided I should talk about it. Sometimes it's quite hard to explain which print is a great print and which print just looks cheap and tacky. For example, these prints, they are not elegant, they just don't look good. It doesn't matter whether it's during the day, during night, in the city, and nature, at home, anywhere. Now, these prints look amazing, pretty much anywhere. Why is that? It's hard to explain. I probably will make a separate video about this, but you can't go wrong probably with the print that would be small or medium size flowers or polka dots on top of dark blue background. So normally that looks the most classy. So whichever body type you have, whichever coloration you have, you probably can't go wrong with this type of a print. I would also not go for muddy prints like this. Anything too watercolor blended with a lot of grayish colors or extremely bright colors mixed together also doesn't quite look elegant. Again, it requires a certain style. Just go for more classic, clean colors. Ivory, dark blue, black, white if you are brighter in coloration, and things like that. Now, another thing that doesn't look quite good is big print. Huge flowers, for example. Even if you are full in figure, sometimes it doesn't look very elegant. Just go for smaller flowers. I've seen several times women are rocking that print, but it had certain dress, certain type of print, certain colors. Shoes. Normally, there are 2 types of shoes that don't look good in the city. Is flip-flops. It's just for the beach. Normally just doesn't look elegant enough in the city. And another thing, ankle boots or taller boots with wider ankle, especially for women who are not very tall or women with slightly thick calves. It cuts your leg, it's making you look smaller. Even if your photographer is lying down and is making photograph of you from the bottom, even then that will cut your legs, especially if it's in contrasted color with your legs. The rest depends on your style, what you like, what fits to you. Sneakers, different sandals, high heels, medium heels, that normally looks nice. Accessories have their own rules. Also, you can look amazing without accessories. So don't think that you always have to have something. I know some women who love simplicity. They have nothing on them and they look amazing. Check do's and don'ts for modern accessories if you want to look a little bit more classy. There are still some accessories that, in my viewpoint, look slightly old-fashioned. In the majority cases, they don't look as good as this type of accessories. These are much more universal and pretty much any woman can pull them off and look great. They're slightly chunkier than very thin ones, and I'm showing you this on purpose because, in my viewpoint, medium chunkiness of accessories looks better on majority women rather than the very thin accessories. They look extremely delicate, and there are women who don't have that delicate body. So in contrast with these very delicate accessories, their body sometimes can look a little bit more angular. So I always recommend going for medium chunkiness. Now let's talk about poses. Just in general, if you walk straight to the camera, nearly any woman will look slightly angular. Same about if you're standing straight to the camera. So if you are walking, if you're slightly turned to a side here with your whole body, or putting your feet one in front of another, that diagonal and that more narrowed down line can make everything look less wide and less angular. Also, it's always better if you have some air between your arms and your body and between your legs. It doesn't look as stiff. Check Jeanne Damas photos. She is amazing in that. She's a huge fashion influencer from France. She has an amazing sense of that street photo, and I on purpose don't show you photos of professional photographers and models. This is just not realistic. So I think Jeanne is somewhere in between. She's not a model, but at the same time she's very experienced in photos like this, and her poses are amazing. Just try to copy some of them. Just check how she stands. She's always relaxed. She's always effortless in that. I don't know if she rehearsed that or not, but it looks very natural. So sometimes her foot is on a side. Sometimes it's slightly forward. Sometimes her feet are crossed. Sometimes her hand is on her waist. Sometimes she's lifting her hand, she's working with her hair, she looks to a side. Then when she's sitting on a chair, she can put her head to her hand like this. She can look to a side. Don't press your arms like that. Just relax. Put one to your knees. Sometimes you can do cross legs when you sit. Sometimes you can put your hands like that. Better if not straight, but slightly to a side. All that looks very harmonious. There's one little trick to make it look a little bit more effortless. When you're walking towards the camera, or slightly to the right or to the left, you can look slightly to a side with the thought that you are trying to find correct location. If you're trying to find a place where you have to go. Normally, when you have that interest on your face, you stop being interesting, first of all. You stop posing and trying to be pretty in front of the camera.
Me and the monument.
And then you start having that interested face. And normally, when you're trying to find something, the muscles on your face, they tense naturally. That have a lifting effect on your face. You normally look like that. So your brows lifting up, your eyes are more lifted, you look more awake, and your face looks more awake. Just in general. And sometimes your eyes can be slightly shrinked. That also looks charming, and you can find yourself look very pretty on photos like this. Now, poses that don't look nice. We talk about bathroom pose on my each video, but here it is. Bathroom poses in the city. This is when you are sitting and you bending the top of your body forward. This is what is creating that bathroom pose, that's all. But if your legs are crossed at least, then you're good. Now, sitting on a curb should be elegant. So these are examples how sitting on a curb might not look very elegant. And this is a good example. So of course many things depend on how you look, what are you wearing, and what kind of hair and makeup you have. It's a combination of elements. Now let's go to the types of photos, the specifics of each one of them. Number one is a casual style of a photo. Normally on casual photos, a woman has quite casual clothes. Normally it's just very regular pants, jeans, t-shirt, nothing over the top and nothing extra stylish or extra fashionable. Something that everybody is wearing every day. Many traveling photos have this casual type of a photo in the city. Normally people look to the camera and they normally smile. They can stand with their friends or by themselves. So on this type of pictures, everything depends on your hairstyle, hair color, makeup, and clothes that you're wearing. So here you can apply all the rules that we spoke about in my other videos. So if you have your hair like a bowl cut, for majority women it's not looking nice. If you have your makeup extremely bright, if some of the clothes is not looking elegant, it's not gonna look elegant enough. So this woman poses great, environment is amazing. I would change a little bit her hair and clothes and makeup slightly. All the women are very beautiful. Actually, small makeovers and they're good to go. Number 2, sports. We're not gonna talk much about sports photos. Normally it's a woman who is wearing sports clothes, she's wearing sneakers, she's going to the gym, or she's just walking with her dog, and she normally has ponytail, drinking a smoothie. So there's basically no specific rules about this. If you love it, you do it. Number 3, having fun. Here are some examples. So clothes can be any. You can be high fashion or very casual looking. Normally it's you're by yourself or you're with friends. Sometimes there are some interesting poses. For example, you're laughing very much, or you're jumping, you're putting your hands up, or you're running, or you shake your hair, pointing on something. So those are kind of fun photos, and there are some women who have this personality. They just love making photos like that, and it's always nice to have couple of pictures like that, because for your social media not everything has to be extremely glammed and super serious. So if you have a couple of pictures like that, that's gonna look great. Also, when people get together, they laugh about something, they point on something, or they do something together, that's always looking very nice, because it normally shows very real emotions and you can kind of feel it through the photo. Normally in this type of photos, people are not concerned about their looks. They don't try too hard, which is another point why these pictures are so charming sometimes. Number 4, business photos. Business photos normally have special dress code. Normally that office look for majority of women is a shirt, a blazer, then on the bottom they might have pants or a pencil skirt. If it's a pencil skirt, it normally closes the knees. Then medium heels or high heels, good quality purse that normally is very minimalistic and classic in shape. Sometimes it's sunglasses. Hair normally is well done. If the hair is fluffy like a cotton ball, it's not gonna work normally. If you have curly hair, I would not straighten them. I think curly hair look as elegant as straight hair. You just have to style your curls in a more chunky way. Normally women like that are, where they're walking, they can be sitting outside, they have this break, they go to a cafe, they're talking on the phone, they're writing something, they're reading something, they're drinking coffee, they're walking down the streets. So this is basically how these business photos in the city are made. And if you're one of those who wants to do photos like that, it has its rules. For example, bright makeup is probably not gonna look nice during the day and also in your business hours. And there's a little hint. Next week we're gonna talk about photos in the office and business photos. So I'm gonna talk much more about this. Your hair can be a bit more stiff, it can be styled. There's still do's and don'ts for hair. That very stripy hair might not look good enough, especially who like to look a little bit more classic. Extremely bright makeup is not for them too. If you have these platform shoes or very short skirt or something else, that's normally not gonna look nice with business photos. But as I said about this, we're gonna talk about in my next video. Now, next, number 5 is retro photos. There are some beautifully made retro photos out there in the internet. For example, Karolina Zebrowska. She is also a YouTuber. When I checked some of her pictures, it really looks like a time machine. She really feels how to make her photo look like 1920s, 1930s. It's incredible. It includes everything. It includes not only hair, makeup, and clothes, it's also including environment and the pose and the facial expression. If you feel it, you can make these beautiful retro photos. Mostly women really love to copy 50s and 60s style. 50s, it's normally pin-up girls, new look, polka dot dresses, big skirts, Mary Jane shoes, very curled hair, red lips, and bright classic makeup, that black thick line on the upper lid. So the only problem with this look is we nowadays have such great cameras, so they give you a very clear picture, and back then it wasn't the case. So this is why those old-fashioned pictures, they look slightly different, and now they can look slightly costumish, especially during the day, because all these bright colors and exaggerated shapes, they look way too flamboyant for daylight. So my suggestion would be just choose a couple of elements of that past, of that decade that you really love. The rest you can make a little bit more modern, and that will look amazing. Of course, try to imagine where this type of a photo would fit more, because environment matters. If you are wearing this polka dot dress and around you is some kind of a modern city in Russia with these tall panel buildings, it's just not gonna look harmonious, it's just gonna look funny. If you're going for new look dress, dress, possibly it's better if it's very classic color. That will slightly calm it down. If it's bright blue or bright red polka dot, it exaggerates it and makes it a little bit more costumish looking. Another thing is poses. Normally when women are dressed up like 50s and 60s, they pose a little bit too much. Normally all these poses are like pin-up girls, again, sticking out butt like this, very playful, hanging palms of the hands, sometimes like this, sometimes to the head, pouty lips, very surprised eyes, very lifted brows, that expression of a huge surprise and interest. All that is very feminine and very cute, but it also depends on the body type. If you are tall, angular, and you look like 90s supermodel, maybe for you this type of poses are gonna look slightly awkward and a little bit angular. If you are slightly chubby, have doll-like features, heart-shaped face, you have some flesh, maybe you're not tall, you have short legs, short arms, which is important. Normally with short arms, those kind of gestures look more cute. Another problem is hat. Of course, nowadays we don't wear hats as it was in the 50s, for example. Nowadays, hat is more of an upgraded style. Some people really look very natural and effortless with hats in their wardrobe. Some people feel like they attract a lot of attention. So many women, when they're wearing a hat just for the photo, they attract too much attention to the hat. They're holding the brim with their hands like this or like this. It like screams, look, I have a hat. Do the opposite thing, attention on anything else but not hat. Number 6, moody photos. So normally on the moody photo, you look introverted, not extroverted. Your attention is on your thoughts or on yourself, and it normally shows through the picture. These pictures normally look quite artistic. Many photographers like to experiment with photos like that, play with the sun, with nature, with different kinds of angles. Lighting is playing a big role in the moody photos. Sometimes you can stand in front of the evening sun. It just shines brightly on your face, or sometimes the sun can be on contrary on the back and you are kind of very dark. So normally on this picture you are busy with your thoughts. You are writing on your diary, you're reading a book, you're looking at the sun and thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, or you remember how it was yesterday, or you're just waiting for a transport. So basically you look like you are not aware about your being photographed. And normally when these pictures are made artistically with real taste and understanding, then they look very effortless, very natural. You don't feel that this person on the picture is trying to be interesting, pretty, beautiful, and posing in front of the picture. No. On contrary, poses there have to be maximum relaxed. They can be awkward. They can be unbeautiful slightly. So it gives that charm to that photo. I love this picture when the woman is just walking down the street. She looks stunning and there are people on the back looking at her. She doesn't care how she looks. I don't know, I just love pictures when they are as real as they are. So the most important thing in moody photos is it doesn't have to look like you're posing or you're trying for the picture. You are not aware that you're being photographed. That's the main thing. So hair, makeup, and clothes should match to the mood of the scene. If they don't match, this is when you can tell that this is unprofessionally made, because we need to tell the story. Number 7, fashionista. Street style photographs, Pinterest photographs that can be professional or semi-professional photos. There are some beauty bloggers who earn money like that, so they normally learning all these effortless poses like Jeanne Damas, for example. It's kinda something in between casual and fashionista. This is a certain type of photos. You can look at her poses, first try to repeat them because she's doing it absolutely masterfully. Don't look stiff, a little bit air between your hands. If you walk, go slightly diagonal. All these diagonal lines with your arms and legs, it breaks the squarishness of any body. Best if pose is not staged, and these girls who are being photographed for street fashion, they normally know it very well, so they are pros on that. They know how they're gonna look on this or that picture if they walk like that. And of course, they make a lot of pictures while they're walking, and then they choose the best ones, the most effortless ones, interesting ones. All that creates movement, story. Normally, there's no glam makeup in there. You won't see women with over-injected lips, with lash extensions, with nail extensions. Normally, it's quite bare face, minimal makeup or red lips, sometimes smoky eye, but in this type of looks, makeup is not playing a main role. You can have pretty much anything there. Your skin preferably would be clean. Even contouring is not important. Glasses, yes. It's one of the most often accessories in this type of looks. Hair should be expensive. It should have an amazing coloring and a great hairstyle. Otherwise, the clothes that you're wearing, which is upgraded in style already, it's not just that regular t-shirt and jeans anymore. Quite expensive clothes in very interesting, sometimes avant-garde silhouettes and color combinations. It can't stand undone hair. So your whole look will be just ruined. So hair should be there. So here the accent is on combination of styles, outlines, silhouettes, textures, colors, and patterns. Number 8, Seducer. And not that I recommend you to go for photos like that, I just observe that this type exists. And it's not always that woman is wearing seducing clothes, which is also happening quite often. Also facial expression, pose, makeup, hair, and even all those extra injections that sometimes women do to their faces. So during the day, it normally doesn't look very nice because it's an evening activity. It's night activity. When you're wearing mini skirt along with see-through black tights or fishnet tights, along with high heels and platforms, along with huge décolletage area, sometimes it can be just one of the elements. It's like sticking out butt, chin is up, opened mouth, slightly closed eyes, or pouty lips. She's touching herself, she's doing this, or she's smoking like this, showing her curves, showing her legs. All that is more of a seducer photo, and there can be combinations of that. So the seducing part can be actually maybe 30% of the picture, which is quite nice. Sometimes if you want to add some sexy vibe to the picture, you can use it a little bit, but it is always good idea to use it in small portions, not in large portions. This is when this sexiness gonna work for you, not against you. It's not gonna go to a vulgar side, it's gonna just show real sensual part of you. And the signal that you are giving to someone, I just guess, they will get it. This picture, for example, it's kind of seducer plus fashionista. The fashion is slightly with 80s vibe. It's not completely seducing. It has a little bit of that awkwardness in that too. So normally any kind of awkwardness and closed parts of your body is balancing that extra seducing look. Also, women who inject their lips too much, they have that permanently seducing look and it sticks to them. Many escort girls, they like that look. Long hair, some extra lashes, some extra lips, tall boots, naked thighs, things like that. When it's too much, again, during the day, it's like very prominent, sexy look. And some of these women, they really feel that, so they try to balance it with extremely baggy clothes, with matte lipstick, because sometimes your lips can look sick if you're wearing too much of that gloss. So matte lipstick that is not very bright can slightly downsize the puffiness of the lips, because during the day it normally looks like your lips are swollen because you have daylight that is shining on your lips from all the directions. So I would rather go for overlining your lips slightly than to make them puffy like that. Alright, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was interesting. Stay tuned because next week we are gonna talk about office looks. Bye.